Welcome to Visionaries Global Media, your number one source for podcasting entertainment. Visionaries Global Media, envisioning excellence on a global scale.
This is Band From Ringside.
Tonight on the Band From Ringside podcast, we have your New Japan Cup update, your Wednesday Night Wars update, your Fastlane predictions, Shane versus Braun in what's sure to be a beefer winner for Feud of the Year. That and a whole bunch more tonight on the Band From Ringside podcast.
You trying to make me laugh over your shit, huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm on. Ditch that 9 to 5. It's time to feel alive. Hello, Marks, and welcome to the Band From Ringside podcast. As always, I'm your host, Bill Vagey, a.k.a. Kayfabe Abraham Lincoln. That one's hard to say.
But you did it, though.
And out there in Edwardsville, Illinois, we have Two Beers, Zach Poland. What's going on, Two Beers, Zach?
Not much, man. It is a lazy, rainy day here at the Pullman household. It has been just New Japan Cup on the TV and nothing else getting done, really.
And to my left, as always, we have Jason Cornelius Bell. What's going on, JCB?
Allow us to bow our heads as I read from the latest edition of the Band From Ringside podcast, volume 197, chapter 3, verse 14, and the good smart saith, hashtag boo the heels. It is all good, baby. Listen, share, subscribe, repeat. 4 away from the Magic 200. We were throwing around some possible ideas for what we wanted to do for the Magical 200. If you have an idea that we haven't thought about, and obviously we haven't said anything because I at least want to keep certain things underneath our hats, hit us up on BFR Pod on Twitter. Hit us up on Friends of BFR on Facebook. Throw some ideas out there. Maybe we can incorporate that because we were trying to make 200 extra special because I didn't even think we would make 100, to be perfectly honest. Now you're talking 2. So, yeah, we're going to try to do something big for the 200th episode coming up.
You know, when we started this, friend of the show, fan of the show, Dan Reuter, who helped us set up our sound system when we started doing it from home and everything, and he listens every week. What up, Dan? He said to me that the majority of podcasts don't really go past, I think it was 9 episodes?
Something like that, yeah.
Like most podcasts. So I think that 200 is going to be quite the achievement,
yeah.
I think. Something we should be proud of. Because
never would have thought it in a trillion years.
Because it's fun. It's something that I look forward to every week still. It's something that we enjoy doing, and it's something that we've gotten good feedback about. It's also something that's been very lucrative. I mean,
I'm sorry, I didn't laugh.
Obviously,
I'm sorry, I laughed. I was saying
the
Suzuki Kenta match, just comedy.
Yeah, the Suzuki Kenta match is on in the background. But yes, we will be hitting 200, God willing, in just a few weeks. So we have some special things lined up. I don't want to build up anybody's expectations too much.
Yeah, keep the bar low.
Yeah. Please keep the bar low. The amount of preparation that we do, you know, during our pre-show meeting that we have every week, which lasts about 120 seconds or something, we've talked about a couple things. But
shit.
Before we get too far into it, Jason, why don't you tell us about the restaurant that I ate at today?
Motherfucker.
F&B Eatery.
F&B Eatery on the corner of 3453 Southampton and Marquette, home of the famous smash burger you never heard of. And in this case, you have a special coming up because that's why I keep telling y'all, you need to follow these guys on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all F&B Eatery, one word. Blackened tilapia fish tacos tomorrow is their special. How did I know that? Because like I said, I follow them on social media. So in this scenario, if you are a fan of fish tacos, like Daddy's a fan of fish tacos, you're not going to meet me there. You're going to beat me there at F&B Eatery on the corner of 3453 Southampton. Tell them that Band From Ringside sent you.
I'm a fan of all tacos in every single kind of form. Like, there's not a single taco that I won't eat. Go ahead, Zach. Anything that you want to say about the pink taco? Because I know you're thinking about it.
Oh, man. Am I that predictable?
Sometimes. Say Yano around me and see what happens.
Also, let's not forget that my wife is selling Bill's Beard Company, beard shampoo, beard balm, beard oil, shampoo, or not shampoo, sorry, shower steamers, bath bombs, shit like that. We are still selling it. She was still making it in the kitchen today while there was a woman in there painting, and the kitchen looks like fucking shit, and I can't stand a dirty kitchen.
It's not that bad.
God, I fucking hate it.
Dude, it's not
so
that
much.
bad. Calm down.
But my wife was in there making it today barefoot, so I got to say to her, you're barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen right now, right?
No, you didn't.
You
said that from a distance, right?
Without further ado, let's get to that 3 count.
1, 2, 3.
JCB starts off.
And then there were 4. If you'd have had Finley, Evil, Shingo, and Ospreay as your final 4, you a bad motherfucker. That's your final 4 for the New Japan Cup. If just in case you haven't caught up, hopefully you have. You are now caught up. That's the final 4 coming up. You're going to have on one side Evil versus Shingo, the Battle of LIJ. And then on the other side, you have Will Ospreay versus the Cinderella story coming out of this being one David Finlay. David Finlay won this morning over Jay White, and probably, in my humble opinion, the second biggest upset of the tournament. You had Will Ospreay taking out Sonata to finish out the final 4. Just some quick thoughts on the tournament itself. For me personally, Shingo Takagi has been the standout star. If you haven't been keeping track, all of his wins have come against former New Japan Cup winners. So for me, that basically is telling the story of the rise of one that Shingo Takagi. Will Ospreay is, to me, the next biggest story coming out of this, being the sole member of the United Empire, being left and now being in the Final 4. This feels like at least an ascension of Will Ospreay in some form or fashion, whether or not it is going towards the title immediately or somewhere in the next couple months. Will Ospreay is probably one to watch. And to me, the third biggest thing is something that happened today, but then I had to stop and take a pause and not be too mad and look at the big picture. With the upset of Switchblade, obviously David Finlay moves to the Final 4, which, like I said, to me was a bit of a surprise, but then I had to stop and think about it. I was like, okay, so who did Switchblade beat on the way here? That was one Tanahashi.
Yeah, Tanahashi.
So Tanahashi and Switchblade are probably going to have the feud for the Neverweight title. And in this scenario, if the Neverweight title is going to be the number 2 singles title, you might want to start elevating it. And in this scenario,
doing that? You think they're going to go with that? You think they're going to stick with having the IC and the World Heavyweight united?
Yeah, I just got that feeling. I think they've gone down this road, and they're going to at least see where it goes for a little bit, and then from that point, you can kind of, if you need to go back, you can go back. But to me, this makes sense. Like I said, the knee-jerk reaction when I saw David Finlay won, I was like, what the fuck is this? But then I had to stop and think about it. I was like, well, yeah, this kind of makes sense. This is New Japan. They pull a swerve out their ass. This is just one of those times where we didn't have a lot of swerves, but like the G1 is full of that shit, so that's what makes the G1 fun. And number 2, like I said, Switchblade beat Tanahashi, so they're going to feud for the Neverweight title.
Let's ask the man who's been watching New Japan all day and eating edibles. What are I assume that doesn't mean Doritos, but probably means Doritos too.
Right.
Zach,
God damn, you guys know me so well.
what are your thoughts so far on the New Japan Cup?
Really fun tournament. I mean, New Japan Cup is not usually like a, G1 level, because G1, as Bill likes to call it, is like the real WrestleMania, right? It's like the most exciting thing that happens every year in pro wrestling. But as far as like match quality, it has been really entertaining. It's done a really good job of elevating people and telling stories. Like Jason said, like all those things that he highlighted about Shingo beating only past winners, and Kevin Kelly has been fantastic, like doing this thing solo and being able to like tell these stories and just get these guys over even more than they already do. Because it can be kind of tough. Like they still are, we still are in the pandemic era. There's some fans, but it's not like they're super hot crowds or anything, and they're very respectful, and they don't yell because they're not supposed to yell. So you get some clapping, but that's really about the extent of the involvement. So super fun. I like the David Finlay thing because David Finlay has very obviously been working very hard on improving, getting in shape. His body used to look like one of those like bags of like hotel milk. That you used to put like, in those stainless steel things. But the guy looks great now. Like, I'm not really one to talk, but he looks great. He's like I think 4th generation wrestler. Dad's Fit Finley, and I think the guy can go. And I like him like getting this deep in the tournament and getting that upset. But it looks like the way things are shaping up. I said either Shingo or Okada, whoever wins that match, and it's been Shingo. And I think I might be validated, but we got Will Ospreay on the other side too, and we just know. I mean, dude, Shingo Takagi and Will Ospreay in the finals of the BOSJ, I think that won our match of the year in 2019.
I was getting ready.
That was like we all agreed on it, like that was like the match. So we could have a repeat. And with Will Ospreay too, man, we were having some repeats of stuff with him. His match with Zack Sabre Jr. was amazing, but it was like amazing in a different way than their match last year was at Rev Pro, which was like equally amazing, but they wrestled like a totally different match. Like, Will is really transforming his character and his moveset, and I just think it's been a really fun tournament. Like, this is the kind of reason why I watch wrestling, man. Like, just good competition.
The Kenta Suzuki match, which is on right now in my basement, was a really fun one. Ospreay, Zack Sabre Jr., that was not the match anybody expected them to have, and that match fucking ruled.
Yeah, Will broke his nose, has been working with a broken nose from that point on.
Shingo Godo was way better than I don't know what it is about Godo that makes everybody kind of like every match that he's in, and then when it's done, everybody kind of forgets about Godo. But that match was great also. I also have to give, when mark-out moment of the year comes at the end of next year, God willing, when we're at episode 240 or whatever, Jay White stretching Tanahashi, grabbing his belly and calling him Fat Boy is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in the professional wrestling ring. Like, that might be one. I mean, Jay White is so good to watch, especially with the quiet crowds when he just never stops talking, man. It's like what he's like, come on, you fucking clap. Fucking clap. What the fuck is wrong with you? Fucking clap. And like, I know they don't speak English, so they all just start clapping. It just seems
yelling again, boss.
It seems so mean. He is so good. I love me some Jay White. Calling Tanahashi Fat Boy while he was grabbing his belly.
Oh my God.
By the way, with barely any fat on
there.
Yeah,
I was going to say, Tanahashi in the best shape of what I've seen him since I watched New Japan. I know, Zach, you can probably attest to that even more so. This is probably the best shape of his life. And here comes Switchblade just fucking with him. I mean, like, dude. I'm
fucking with him.
Oh, I cannot wait.
Dude's only fat compared to Zack Sabre Jr.
Right.
Like,
he's not fat at all.
No.
That's what's so fucking
exactly
funny about it.
Jay White's just brilliant.
I was laughing.
He's a brilliant wrestler.
I was really laughing. I thought that was so funny. A couple other things. I know that we talked about Yano versus Great-O-Khan, but none of us had the chance to watch it.
No, I watched it. I watched it. I was going to say,
worst match you'll see. It was like such a terrible match.
It was not.
But it was
good.
but it was just. Yano was just funny to me. It went on a little bit long, but like, I can't believe that he beat the Great-O-Khan after, I don't know. It's just like an upset thing, but I don't know.
No, which is fine.
It's totally silly.
But that's why I was saying, I guess that was last week, where it felt like this was one of the missteps of the tournament, and I'll use that in quotes, where you just had O'Khan have arguably his best win to date over Naito, and then next thing you know, you look up, I'm seeing Yano and up on deck, I'm like, oh, yeah, this is going to be simple, which is probably my own mistake to think that it was just going to be simple. We're going to have chalk there. But it just kind of, it feels like they kind of pulled the rug underneath them. He lost to Tanahashi. You get it back, a little momentum with Naito, and then you pull the rug underneath him with Yano. It just feels like it's start, stop, start, stop. That's all I'm saying.
So I could, if you know how they say, well, I'll say this. I could argue either side of this debate. If one of you guys went one way, I could go the other way. I see that having Yano in the New Japan Cup, more specifically having Yano in the G1, he's good to have in there because anything can happen, and you know that he can beat anybody at any time. The matches generally don't last long, and I find him to be funny. I know Jason doesn't, but still.
Dude, that intro is getting ridiculous.
I know it
Fuck.
is. So, and you could also say that all of these other guys have gotten beat by Yano. It's no big deal. Like, everybody's lost to Yano. Yano beats everybody sooner or later.
In some form or fashion, agreed.
That's the way it goes. So, Great-O-Khan losing to Yano shouldn't be that big of a deal. On the other hand, those are all established guys when they lose to Yano ultimately, at least as long as I've been watching. Great-O-Khan is somebody that you're trying to get over. Momentum has to count for something in pro wrestling, and it does count for something in pro wrestling. And having Great-O-Khan lose to Yano after beating Naito, what was it, last week? 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
It really kind of takes the wind out of his sails, in my opinion. I think I know which way Jason would go. Zach, which way would you
be the voice of reason.
Zach, which way would you go on that?
Yeah, no, I'm inclined to agree with that, especially because the guy is kind of struggling to get over. At least it's hard to tell because of fan reaction, right? Like I just said, you don't have those like fan reactions. But even if we had them, I don't think the Great-O-Khan is getting a large reaction from the crowd as it stands right now.
I'll go this far. When I see my Twitter timeline about Great-O-Khan, it's 50-50. It's either they like him or they don't. I just thought this was a scenario, and I was having this conversation about Great-O-Khan. I just thought this was a scenario where you knew he wasn't going to win, but a good run for O'Khan would kind of make sense. You know what I'm saying? I talked about it, I guess it was a couple weeks ago when I was kind of a little bent out of shape about Evil having the first round bye, even though he was the winner last year. I just, I hate Evil. That just is what it is. He betrayed Naito and LIJ. So yeah, it's just going to be that irrational hatred for it. But with Evil going ahead, I just kind of thought that this would be a scenario where if he can win a match or two, you can easily see him where he is right now, and that's where Evil is. God bless him for it. I'm not, like I said, not a huge fan of this shit, but that's where we're at. I guess at the end of the day, I'm just kind of waiting for, what's next. Kind of looking forward. We got this Final Four. We got Shingo and Evil on one side. You obviously got Will Ospreay and David Finlay on the other. Don't get me wrong. I really think I love the fact that they have David Finlay in this spot because I always, beat the drum about, we got to make new stars. We got to make new stars. I'm not necessarily saying that David Finlay is going to be that next star, but I'm glad that they have him in this Final Four. For me, at this point, I got to take Shingo over Evil. Not unless you're bringing all of Bullet Club to come down and have some fuckery in this match. Shingo has got to win that match. And as much as David Finlay is that Cinderella story, especially in March when we have March Madness, it's that time of season, everybody. So you pick your Cinderella story out in your bracket, but in this bracket, I think Cinderella is going to lose her glass slipper. I like Will Ospreay in that match. At that point, Shingo versus Will Ospreay, all bets are off. I lean heavily towards Shingo, but we've already seen a couple swerves at that point. But I like this Final Four ultimately. I like where we've gotten. For the most part, people have gotten over. Jeff Cobb is the only person I can think of that really might have been a victim of what has happened. But like I said, when he's meeting Evil at that, I guess that was the second round or whatever, it was going to be hard for me to think that Evil was going to lose. And then from that point on, it's, I guess this is kind of building up Evil just to fall for Shingo, and I'm all for that. Evil has not been what I thought he could have been leading past the double champion point. So, it is what it is. But like I said, I like Shingo Ospreay as the final. If you're going to press me on it, I'll take Shingo to win it all.
Zach, how about you?
Yeah, I'm still going Shingo, man. Especially Evil continues the storyline, right? Evil won last year, so Shingo beating former winners all the way up until ultimately winning himself and being the most winningest wrestler in New Japan in the year 2020. I think this is a great story.
So it's just so I can stick with my original pick, I'll stick with Ospreay. I'll stick with Ospreay going over Shingo in what promises to be a barn burner.
I was going to say it's the battle of the junior heavyweights, and I'll use that in quotations because one was a junior, the other was damn sure not no junior. I don't care what nobody say. Bring out that scale. I was about to say if he makes weight, he being Shingo, I'll be stunned.
Let's get to that. Any other thoughts on that, Zach, or should we get to the 2 count?
No, yeah, 2 count.
1, 2, 3.
2B, or what's the 2 count?
Oh man, I'm getting ready for Twitter heads to just call me a simp today because this is one of the most goddamn winningest episodes of Dynamite there's ever been. This Dynamite ruled ass. It was like start to finish. It just was absolutely killer. And this wasn't one of those. I know they called it St. Patrick's Day Slam. That doesn't mean shit. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just me having to be a bartender on St. Patrick's Day, and then
that's totally what it is.
Excuse for binge drinking, on your part, you know what I mean? But yeah, St. Patrick's Day Slam. I didn't think of it as a big show, but then it just delivered completely. Opening up with Cody and Penta, which was good, and then we had maybe the best women's match I've ever seen, to round out the show. I mean, can we stop talking about how AEW's women division needs work? I know it does, but I'm just saying, this match was out of control. I think that's the thing that everybody wants to talk about, so we might as well just, skip to it. At least that's what I want to talk about.
Well, let's talk about
Iron, Scarlet, Scarlet masks and, just ultimate violence. It was just super cool, man. Those ladies, women just absolutely destroyed themselves for our entertainment, and I was thoroughly entertained. That's a star-making performance for both of them. There was Becky Lynch whenever she got blasted by Nia Jax, right? And she really started to get big. I think if there were fans in this building, these women are so over right now. That was a star-making performance.
It's unfortunate that this match was not in front of a crowd because they left it all out there. I mean, this is the most violent women's match ever on television. That's for sure. I mean,
just regular old TNT.
regular old TNT, and it was a.
No, we ain't gonna make you pay for this one.
it was a pay-per-view quality style match, and it was fucking violent, and it was great. I love the storytelling in it. I love it that Thunder Rosa went over. I think that's the right move. No, Jason doesn't think so. But
no, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I did not.
Well, you're
say
making
that.
faces at me.
Okay, well, I would like to think you would know the difference between certain faces. This was kind of I don't know. Go ahead and finish, and I'll let you, and I'll jump in afterwards.
Who?
You.
That's it. Go ahead. Jump in.
Don't get me wrong. First things first, I agree with everybody that's already said it. Here's more flowers. this match was incredible. It's not going to sit here and, absolve the women's division of all its ills, but this is a really good start of trying to get momentum going forward from this point on. They've had a couple women's matches with Jade Cargill, obviously, on this card or whatever, just squashing the shit out of Danny Jordan and what you like to see. So if you want to start to build a foundation with the women's division, you do have something to work with. The only problem, and this is really nitpicky, the only problem that I had with this match is the fact that it's Thunder Rosa winning. Thunder Rosa is not a contracted AEW persona or whatever you want to call it. So at that point, I was kind of leaning towards Britt stealing a win in some form or fashion because you have her under contract. But if you stop, once again, look at the big picture, kind of like what I was talking about earlier in the one count, Britt got over, okay? A lot of the things that some of her detractors are coming out with need to start going into the background at this point. This match with Sheeta when she broke her nose or whatever and grinded through that, and then last night's match should really start to put away all of the doubts about Britt Baker. She's only going to get better in ring, and her persona, her character, whatever you want to call it, is one of the best that you have in women's wrestling. So in the long run, it's probably going to help Britt Baker. Thunder Rosa got over immediately, and she was already over to begin with, so this was like the cherry on top of the cake. But Britt Baker in the long run is probably going to be the ultimate winner because she's going to be the predominant heel moving forward. Nia Rose is who she is, and she's just that big fucking physical presence. But Britt Baker, I think, is the future of the heels when it comes to AEW and the future of the division.
All right, what's next, Zach?
So, what else should we talk about? Sting came out again this week.
Shocker.
No, I think the second best angle this week, one of the reasons that I enjoyed the show so much was after the Good Brothers and Kingston and Moxley match, we had a beatdown angle after an awesome promo from those guys. Like, this should be like a new buddy cop drama where you just have Moxley and Kingston, and we just watch them go about their day.
This I might have to cut this out later, but Moxley was wearing a shirt that said "The Violent Gentleman." Is that something that existed before, or is that I thought for a second hey, wait, is that the name of Kingston and Ambrose or Kingston and Moxley's?
No, he's worn that before. I want to say that's kind of maybe
that'd be a good name for a tag team.
Yeah, right. I think that may be his line of clothing.
Oh,
but I've seen him wear that particular shirt before. This obviously was like a sweatshirt or whatever.
I agree with Zach. I thought that was a really fun babyface promo between. I mean, Moxley's just so natural doing it. The Stone Cold comparisons get a little tired, but to be that effortless as being a babyface and an asshole, and not actually great, at least for my money. He doesn't grate on me when he is that smooth and that funny, because part of the reason I love wrestling is because how fucking funny it is. But he's fucking funny, and Eddie Kingston kind of fell into a babyface really easily, which we haven't seen him on AEW as a babyface, but he obviously can do it pretty easily, and that just shows what pros they are.
Absolutely, yeah. That's Moxley's number one dude, in wrestling that I want to have a beer with. He's that kind of world champion guy.
He's a weirdo.
The ultimate everyman. Yeah, but also he is a weirdo, I'm sure. You can't be that good and that into something and not just be somewhat esoteric.
Yeah, there's going to be a screw loose or two going into that. I'll just say this: that promo was kind of like the yin and yang, dare I say, lethal weapon, and I'll show my age for 30 seconds. You can call whoever you want to Sergeant Murtaugh and whoever you want to call as Riggs, but they play well off each other, where one is, in this case, Moxley is kind of like the funny, let's be off script kind of guy. And Eddie Kingston is the, okay, fuck that. Let's get serious about some shit. You motherfuckers ain't shit. You ain't putting no bodies down. And that vignette was a nice little dichotomy of yin and yang, where then it went out to the match. And then obviously you had Kingston getting jumped post-match. If he being Eddie Kingston wasn't a babyface covering up Moxley on an impending implosion, this was more of a babyface. He took the bullet for Moxley to make sure that, hey, I'm down, but make sure you got to get these guys. You got to get Kenny and the Good Brothers. So, I mean, Eddie Kingston has kind of gone a full circle in this scenario. Well, not even full circle, 180, where he was heel and now he's a really good face and he can talk. And that's a big thing, because you got to be able to explain the heel flip when he flipped a heel on Moxley, and now the face turn where he's now Moxley's boy.
Well, yeah, just think about 1 week ago when people acted like, they would act like this is like the coldest possible act, because of a fireworks malfunction, you know what I mean? Like, and now they're just this awesome team that we love to see every week. And it's been 1 week, right? You gave them one promo, and then now you give them another promo and a match. But the cool thing, I think, coming out of this match was the angle where Kenny comes out with the chair, the music hits, and then they go to, they Pillmanize Kingston, and they go to Pillmanize Moxley's neck, and the Young Bucks ain't having it, and the Young Bucks ain't too sweetened, and even setting this up, we had a great promo from Don Callis, which was between like that promo and then Don Callis promo and then like MJF like later. These are like three. They're just promo things are off the charts this week. But we had this promo from Don Callis. The Young Bucks come out. They're not having it, so it looks like we're setting up a like Young Bucks and John Moxley versus Good Brothers and Kenny Omega match, which, sign me up.
Yeah, I think that's certainly the way that we're looking. Before you go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because you brought up Murtaugh and Riggs, and I'm old enough to remember Murtaugh and Riggs. And if you had to say that who's who out of me and Jason, I would say that Jason's Murtaugh. I'm Riggs. Not just because you're black and I'm white.
No,
but because you're getting too old for this shit. Man, I had to sit back quietly and wait to drop that one.
Oh my God, that was great.
I'll just say this. I agree with what Two Beer said about maybe 6-man tag, but I think ultimately, we're going to get Good Brothers, Young Bucks for the title, at least at some point. Obviously, on Impact, if you didn't watch Impact, Good Brothers are going to get their rematch against FinJuice at Rebellion later in April. But I think in the meantime, Death Triangle obviously has a number one contendership championship match against the Bucks. I'm not sure if that'll happen before or after the Good Brothers, but you can kind of start to see where the interpromotional matches are starting to come into play, and you can kind of see a little long-term storytelling. Now, my biggest question is, can this all get along? Because you hear kind of rumblings where Impact doesn't want to have a champion that's not on TV all the time, but obviously Kenny Omega should be beating Rich Swann. And I think that's part of the build to Kenny Omega being this quote-unquote god of wrestling, and then someone comes down the pike and takes him down.
I understand Impact's point of view.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, they should.
For sure.
Of course, Kenny Omega should beat Rich Swann in kayfabe style.
Kayfabe style.
But Impact has to also act on its own. Impact can't completely act incongruous with or congruently with AEW because AEW gets so many more eyeballs on it. It's just not the same thing. So they do want their champion, and I'm sure they want Rich Swann to win.
Sure. Another great promo by Don Callis, and quick shout out to Ben Russell. Thanks for listening.
Well, let's talk. Go ahead.
No, he made a good point because I saw him, I guess it was a couple weeks ago, and he was saying that we were talking last week about how we like Don Callis and how he builds matches or whatever, and he was like, I can't stand Don Callis. I'm like, dude, you're tripping. He was like, I like John Laurinaitis. John Laurinaitis to me was somebody that I really liked, and I was just like, ugh. And he was like, I was like, dude, I hated John Laurinaitis. He's like, see, that's what I'm saying. I don't like Don Callis in that same way. I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense. To each his own.
I love them both, just for the record, because they're both funny as fuck. They were both funny as fuck. I will say, we don't have to retroactively talk about John Laurinaitis, though we can. Don Callis is a guy that I really didn't know who he was before the Kenny Omega thing. I'll admit.
Yeah, for sure.
I know that there's people out there that watch more wrestling than I do. The guy every single week fucking delivers. I mean, the week, like Zach said, this promo that he had with the Young Bucks backstage delivered. He was
the Rich Swann on Impact delivered.
You can tell that he's feeling it because he knows that more people are watching. It's probably more people that have watched Don Callis than ever in his entire life on a week-to-week basis. More people know who he is ever.
Okay, that's fair. I don't know that much to disagree with that, but you can definitely feel him getting into this angle because there's so many fucking layers to it.
He delivers.
Yeah, for sure. I was going to say, and this is no disrespect. For me, Paul Heyman is the number one guy right now when it comes to non-wrestlers holding the mic. If I got to give somebody a angle to get over, I'm going Paul Heyman 1.
Teddy Long.
Unless the Undertaker's involved again.
Only if the Undertaker's available.
I was going to say, I got to go Paul Heyman 1, but Don Callis is easily 2, and you're going to see this magic as the Kenny Omega story gets told.
All right, I don't want to take over Zach's count.
Yeah,
what
go
you
ahead.
got, Zach?
Yeah, so we can move on to, I just really like that angle. We can move on to Pinnacle, right? We had MJF's new group come out, and Tully Blanchard starts out, dropping the name of the new group, saying went out, with the 4 best guys in the entire wrestling business, and that's where he started his career, and he's going to end his career with, another greatest group of guys. So, really, the whole thing is just to put this new faction over. And then MJF gets the mic, and this is a long promo, totally classic MJF, but much more serious. This promo was MJF's already a star for being on the mic, right? But this is a star-making performance promo. This was on another level. He was just so confident. It's absolutely bonkers, and puts out, the whole line of guys over, and, really has me believing that they have a spot, right? This is a main event stable. I'm thinking maybe, since we never got it before, maybe we're building to an Inner Circle Pinnacle War Games, or Match Beyond, they're going to call it, because we never got the one that COVID robbed us of in 2020. So maybe they just pivoted and they're giving it to 2 other stables instead of the Elite. I'm looking forward to that.
Jason?
First things first, I got to give MJF credit. He got me. In that promo, he definitely called me out. It didn't say my name personally, but as the golden prediction burned in my face as he was on the mic, he called me out. I thought that he was going to take over the Inner Circle, and obviously he didn't. This is a great pivot to something that, for me, is better because I like factions. And this flips the Inner Circle into a face faction. I won't say a legitimate face faction, but a face faction that's not the Nightmare family versus now the up-and-coming heel faction in the Pinnacle. Jay White, to me, is going to be promo of the year. I don't give two shits unless somebody comes up with something more amazing than that. But this is on the list of promo of the year. Tully set it up to where he's the bridge between arguably one of the greatest factions ever into hopefully what's going to be one of the greatest factions moving forward. You got FTR as the tag team portion of the program. You got Wardlow that's basically going to be the floating guy, the insurance policy, the best big man in the game, like MJF said.
Classically known as the Mason Ryan. or
Big Bubba back in the day, if you want to go NWA/WCW days, because I'm a big Horseman guy. Big Bubba was one of those guys that was, making sure that everything went right at the end of the day. I'll just say this. Shawn Spears is the only guy that I'm really worried about in the Pinnacle because
he's got blonde hair. He's got blonde hair now.
Look, I like blonde hair like everybody else, but he's the only one I'm really worried about because he's the guy that kind of sparked this AEW, I won't call it revolution, but, interest where he cracked Cody across the head with the chair. He had a really good match with Cody, even though he lost. I felt like he kind of got over then, and then it's kind of been bobbing in the water since. If he's going to be that guy, let's just call him the mid-card guy because essentially that's what he is, then he needs to be really starting to dominate this mid-card where if Scorpio Sky doesn't win the TNT title.
I was going to say they'd be better off Scorpio Sky in there.
No. Scorpio Sky to me is the guy that needs to beat Darby Allin for the title. If he doesn't do it, then Shawn Spears needs to do it.
Okay. You guys want me to start off with the good or the bad?
Go for it. Bad stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, I like bad news first.
This was not a promo of the year, in my opinion. Like, this was a paint by numbers boilerplate. Now MJF is good at delivering it, but this is the way that everybody introduces a new faction every time a new faction comes out. They come out, they say what their goals are, which is to dominate whatever promotion they're in, and then they run down the line of guys and they talk about why all these guys are fucking great. I wouldn't push back on this at all, except both of you guys were talking about how great this promo is. Obviously, MJF can cut a fucking promo. No doubt MJF can cut a promo. It didn't move me at all. Like, it was just kind of, it was a promo. It was a good promo by a guy that cuts good promos. I expect that much out of MJF. I did not expect MJF to come out and cut a shitty promo.
It's pretty funny because, I totally get where you're coming from because if you, go through and watch some of these, old, Dusty Rhodes, stuff, for instance, and you're just like, oh, he just did that, every week. There's a few that people pick out, the Hard Times promo and, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, yeah, he just does that every week.
And MJF, we've talked about it on this podcast before. MJF certainly has 1 foot in history and 1 foot in the new world. He is definitely a student of the game that has watched really old school stuff. And maybe for people in their 20s that are watching this MJF promo, I don't know how many people in their 20s watch wrestling anymore, right. But maybe they watch that and they think that it's, groundbreaking. I'm not saying that's what you guys were saying, but I expected this out of MJF. The good stuff out of this is I think the Pinnacle is a really good name.
Yeah.
I'm
glad it's not a Horseman or anything close to it.
Yeah, I think the Pinnacle sounds cool. It is easy to say. It's easy to remember, and that's what's most important. It's like the Inner Circle, It's just a good name for a stable.
I actually like it more immediately than I did the Inner Circle. The Inner Circle took a minute to get over with me as far as a name. but the Pinnacle was like, cool, yeah.
Names are hard, man.
And
names are hard.
And that's kind of the reason why I like the Tully part of the promo. It's how, from 80 whatever into 2021, I'm a part of two of the arguably greater factions of this point. So when I'm done being Tully, I'm going to leave on top. That to me was the setup to MJF. MJF does what he does. I totally agree with you on that. But Tully sets this whole thing up. And I think as much credit as we give MJF, and that's like you said, we expect that from MJF. I didn't expect that from Tully. And he delivered. And that's why it's not just MJF. It's the whole thing, Tully involved, and MJF is why I'm saying that this is a really good promo, dare I say, on the list of promo of the year.
Fair enough. Let me ask you guys this, because I agree with Jason. Sean Spears is the guy to worry about. In fact, I wouldn't put it that way. I would say that Sean Spears shouldn't be in this group.
Okay, then who you put in?
I think you have FTR, MJF, Wardlow. That's it. And have Tully be their guy walking around with them. There's no reason to have 5.
No, I don't think it's 5, but go ahead.
Well, it is 5 if it's FTR, Wardlow, MJF, and Sean Spears. That is 5. That's too many guys. IMHO.
It's the same amount as the Inner Circle, I think, and it's like a similar.
Ding, 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 ding,
Yeah,
ding, ding, ding.
I know. And the Inner Circle was always one too many guys too.
Okay, go ahead and finish.
I mean, it's the 4 Horsemen were so over and worked for so long because there were 4 guys. It just works.
That's the only reason.
That's the only reason. Otherwise you're NWO. Otherwise you're fucking Red NWO. Otherwise you're LWO. What? I don't fucking care what they're called. There's just too. I know that when AEW started, we were like, that'd be cool if there were some more stables. There's too many stables now, right?
I don't think so.
Go ahead, Two Beer.
Name every single stable in AEW.
Well, I mean, some of them don't necessarily have names. I mean, and some of them are more like trios and less stables. I think maybe that's what you're thinking of.
Name the ones that have 4 or more. Trios. Name the ones that have 4 or more.
And I guess you could say the Elite.
Yes.
And then
I forgot about
that. Okay, no, hang on, stop. Let's stop. The Elite comprises of who? I guess there's my question.
Who the fuck knows? But they're called the Elite. I guess
to me that's Omega and the Good Brothers. The Bucks are not on that side, so that's.
Dallas.
I'm talking about the EVPs. The EVPs are the Elite.
Okay. I guess I'll let that.
Dark Order.
Oh,
the Nightmare Family. Inner Circle.
And
the Pinnacle.
To me, that's the 4.
That's
you said
5.
4. No, you said 4 or more.
No, I said
4 members or more.
4 members or more.
Okay, that's
so
the 4.
So we're not counting the Elite? You're not counting the Elite? They call themselves the Elite.
To me, the Elite was the guys that walked off with Kenny Omega.
All right. Is 4 stables of 4 guys or more on a 2-hour weekly show, is that too much? I mean, you could tell me no.
I say no just in the sense that you have something to work with. You always have a storyline to work with. If you want to start bringing in that triangle.
Wait, how many people are in Team Taz?
If Brian Cage is out, now we're down to 3. And that was kind of the angle going out of the Sting thing.
All he did was say he respected Sting.
Okay, that's why I said if.
Okay.
If.
Fine.
Okay, Matt Hardy's group, whatever you want to call them.
There's 5 of them.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I get your point, but to me...
Do you?
Yeah, I do. to me, there's two factions that we really have to worry about. And Blood and Guts, at some point, like Two Beer was saying, is going to probably come back up. This is the Blood and Guts match, Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle. And that's why you have the fifth guy in this scenario where Wardlow is going to be a part of this match. Now, moving forward, I'm not sure how Wardlow is going to, fit into the Pinnacle dynamic, but for me, when MJF was like, this is the best big man and the best insurance policy, Wardlow is probably going to play two spots. He wrestles sometimes, he'll be enforcer other times.
I want to be clear here. I love AEW, and I agree with Two Beer that this was a great week of AEW. But to make good pods, sometimes I have to push back, and there's a lot of stables. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Might
be too many stables.
I'm not disagreeing with there's a lot of stables, but I'm just saying that.
Listen, you guys talk amongst yourself. Decide if you want me to stay in the podcast. I have to go take a piss.
Well, I guess I don't know.
What do you think? What do you think about the Christian promo?
Actually, I like this is the reason why I like the Christian promo. He said the one thing that if you want to take this as a shot across the WWE bow, take it across the shot. I'm going to have to build up wins. I just can't come in and face for the title. That to me, and like I said multiple times, that's the difference between AEW and WWE to me. Goldberg all of a sudden drops off the face of whatever little rock that we threw him out of, and now he's defending or he's challenging for the title, and God forbid he wins the title against two of the hotter guys coming into it, and Kevin Owens and The Fiend. That can't happen. Look, if you're going to do that, and then just at least have Goldberg win some matches, tickle my ass and make me feel good about what's getting ready to happen on this prostate exam before you just shove shit in there, okay? Christian did the one thing that I asked you to do. Build him up, because there's probably guys that don't know Christian's single run. He was undefeated in TNA for a while, undefeated as a champion, whatever the case may be. I think this is a good point where if you want to try to go away from WWE a little bit, this is the time to do it. And you can establish Christian Cage as a long-term contender for Kenny Omega. Because like I said, at some point, Kenny Omega is going to lose, but Christian Cage just set himself up to be a part of that Kenny Omega story. I won't say I love the promo. I liked it a lot, but to me, it made sense because he said the one thing I needed him to say. I want the title, but I have to build myself up first.
Yeah, that was cool. Definitely, I missed Christian's singles run. I didn't watch TNA back then. I was watching when he was in the Brood, and saw some of just the Edge and Christian stuff afterwards, the TLC stuff. But I was kind of lapsed by then. Even I just watched those big shows. But cool promo, and I'm looking forward to seeing him work. Like I said before, he looked good in the Royal Rumble, and he still looks spry. And it looks like if he can work with these guys in AEW, we have some great wrestlers in AEW that sound like a lot of fun matchups.
No, and I think another thing that we kind of overlook is, I don't know if it was on Dark or Evolution or whatever, just when you had Luchasaurus and Cesar Bonatti having that nasty little botch or whatever. Christian is going to be one of those guys that can work backstage with these other younger wrestlers or whatever the case may be to kind of help them along. It's not always what you see on screen. I think Christian's bigger presence might be off screen, where you can kind of get more veterans in and kind of help the younger guys move forward. They don't have a PC like WWE does. You know what I'm saying? So this is basically...
That's a good point.
This is basically their PC.
Signings,
yeah.
You
know what I'm
Sting
saying?
And Paul White and these guys,
right.
They can be mentors.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because they don't necessarily have that backstage presence. WWE has all these guys in the office that are veterans. You got You're at PC having classes with Shawn Michaels.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I think Christian is obviously not on the Shawn Michaels level as, you know, as the character, as the wrestler, but maybe more so where you can do more psychology. As much as it grinded my gears a little bit, him and Randy Orton had a really good feud going on where it was basically going down to, you know, one more match. As much as I hated the one more match gimmick, that one more match became a really good fucking match. So, I mean, it might not always be something that we see on screen.
Did you think he was going to say one more match when he said, I have 3 words for the entire AEW universe?
If we never saw the shirt before Sunday, I would have probably thought it'd been one more match.
Miro looks like him and Kip Sabian are having a amicable split of their tag team. Miro says, I'm going for the world championship. Kip says, I want that for you. Miro had a really funny joke when he said, let me tell you, the worst thing for your career is to have your wife at ringside.
Ow!
Oh, man.
That is some funny
Rewind.
It was so great.
Let me ask you guys.
I'll just say this. I don't think it's an amicable breakup.
You think Miro's going to destroy him sooner or later?
I think Miro is just getting ready to start wrecking havoc because Kip Sabian agreed to the match afterwards, even though Miro doesn't give 2 shits about it. Miro is starting to focus on the world title, whoever the champion is. And that's why I think you're going to have this division where Miro finally decides, fuck you, Kip, enough's enough. I'm going to break you off, and then starts going off on his own.
Zach, did Cody need to go over Penta?
I don't know. I don't think it was even necessarily the end. So I could see them doing another match out of this and, you know, going 50-50.
That's fair. My initial reaction was, I know nobody asked me, so I'll ask myself. My initial reaction was, man, Cody didn't need that win because everybody knows who Cody is. Then I thought the same thing that Zach just said, you know, it's not going to be the end of the feud. It's obviously not the end of the feud because Penta went and attacked Cody. And you probably have to give Cody some wins for the people that are watching for Cody, because if you have some people that are barely hanging on, watching Dynamite every week because they're Cody marks or something, and Cody loses every week because he's putting people over, then they're probably going to lose faith because they want Cody to win. That's the way that wrestling fans are, at least.
No, that's fair. I'll just say this. My only problem with that match is the finish where Penta did the arm breaker, and then I guess it felt like seconds later, but probably a couple minutes later, you had the roll-up finish. If you're gonna do that finish, then I'll take away the arm breaker portion of it, so that way it kind of makes more sense. Outside of that, I thought the match was fine.
No, it was good.
Yeah, you know, he is the guy that is on the TNT show, the Go Big Show. So him opening the show, getting a win, I mean, makes sense. Although I think TNT should make a show called the Go Chad Gable. Because then Chad Gable would leave just like the Big Show did.
Yeah, it took me a second.
I'm glad I looked at you too, because you like.
I didn't get it.
That made me feel good.
I had to explain it.
Clearly too heady for us. Like, we can't figure it out.
But I say that's why I looked at you as the English major. I was like, yeah, no,
hey, usually
no.
me and Zach are on the same page.
That's why I looked at you.
English majors,
white guys.
You know, it wasn't Sting's fault this week, but I think the less said about the Sting segment this week, the better. It was just really disjointed, and it just didn't have a very good flow.
As much as I like Lance Archer, he didn't need to be a part of it. If you're going to do, it felt like they were trying to do 2 things at once.
It really didn't make sense. I mean, if they're trying to break up Team Taz or something, that's fine too. But
yeah,
they did it in a really strange way, which
That Jake the Snake line was ridiculous.
The weenie line?
Darby Allin to put his hot dog bun back on because he's a weenie.
Okay, who's feeding Jake lines?
Can I also just say before we move on to NXT that just as an admirer of the human body, I might have said this before. I hope I haven't said this before.
I think I know where we're going, but go ahead.
That Jade Cargill is really something.
I'm not going to bring up the joke that you brought up to me a few weeks ago.
Here?
When on Revolution, the night when we were at Tinder's house.
I was really high. What did I say?
No, I'm not going to bring it up. We'll do that off the air.
Was it?
Yeah. It was the comparison between
her and Dwight Howard?
Yes.
Yeah, don't say that.
No. I'll just say this.
I'll text it to Zach.
Yeah. Just say, we're not going to leave you out of the loop, Zach. We'll tell you this, but I'll just say this. Zach Cargill. Jay Cargill was so...
I'd take her last name.
Yeah, right.
Did I say that? At that party?
No. We went outside. We had a cigarette, and then that's when you dropped.
No,
I wouldn't let you. I was like, nope. Just hold that shit.
It's a funny joke.
It's great. The fact that I kind of was the genesis of that whole joke makes it even more funny. Jay Cargill is legit. I'll just say this much. This is a great squash match to get her moving forward. Thunder Rosa would be a great, long-term opponent. Britt Baker maybe, if you're going to do heel versus heel, but Jay Cargill has got a lot of fucking potential. As long as they don't try to rush her up this card, she should be more than fine. She has the physical look. She's doing it in ring. She can actually talk a little bit too. You got something to work with Jay Cargill there. You can start to kind of build off of that. But like I said, to me, when we started this whole 2 count, Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker is hopefully, fingers crossed, the genesis of a women's division that needs to get some sort of just push, stability, whatever word you want to use to it. There's too much talent not to be good.
I am merely an admirer of the human physique, be it man or woman.
Look,
Zach, I just texted you the joke.
Jay Cargill is legit, okay? And as much as as Danny Jordan wants to be like, oh, she's flexing too much muscles, she actually can go. The kip up was nice. There's things to work with there.
Okay, let's get to an extremely good NXT also.
This is banned from ringside.
Some weeks they just both come together, and I thought that NXT was also very good. What did you think, Zach?
I mean, it was kind of, they did good with what they were given. Like, they had so many people out that I'm sure it was kind of like tough to put it together storyline wise. But yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good show. The main event was rough. Like, Danny Burch apparently separated his shoulder, so that sucks.
Really?
But yeah. Karrion Kross just got back from a separated shoulder on that double suplex spot and Danny Burch was outside and Oney Lorcan had to
that's why
wrestle the whole rest of the match.
Okay. That's why Lorcan got the pin. That makes more sense.
So yeah, it was wild. So
I feel like we're burying the lead though.
What's that?
Walter.
Oh yeah, God, that is. You're right, because when it comes to WrestleMania Takeover, like the Stand and Deliver, I don't even care about any title match more than I care about Walter and Ciampa. I mean, dude, that match sounds like it would rule.
It's a fucking dream match. It's a dream match. I mean, Walter has had match of the year, at least candidates match of the year for the last 2 years that we've been doing this. We've done 4 beefers, right?
Yep.
So Walter's had 2 of the last ones. Walter, not necessarily, he's kind of a throwback in terms of the way he looks. I mean, he's kind of flabby, but the guy can fucking wrestle. And the guy also had a 44-minute match with Tyler Bate, one of my favorite matches of all time. A 35-minute match last year with, help me out with the name, Dragunov?
Ilya Dragunov.
And he's about to face one of the greatest NXT wrestlers of all time, Tommaso Ciampa. And I am very, very, very excited for that. What do you think, Jason?
The lead into that was obviously Thatcher in kayfabe was jumped by Imperium. Ciampa jumps Alexander Wolf in kayfabe backstage. So now you have Fabian Eichner and Bartel basically up for grabs for Ciampa. I did not see Walter coming. I really didn't. I would
when it
Dude,
came up,
especially on a week when you had like more than a dozen people that were like, I mean, who knows how many people were out with like COVID, but a bunch of people that were on the show were not really even on the show, and then Walter's there from another country. Like,
Stop the tape for 30 seconds. You just said that a second time, so apparently I wasn't keeping up. Did we have another COVID breakout in NXT?
Oh yeah, that's why all those people were not in the building, and like
Gargano,
Kyle O'Reilly, that's why his
O'Reilly.
angle was that he wasn't in the building, and yeah, Gargano's not in the building. You know, Cameron Grimes wasn't around. Like there was all kinds of people that were like scheduled. I imagine, yeah, you know, and you got to roll with the punches. But yeah, like I didn't expect Walter because I knew that going in. I had seen that there was a COVID outbreak and that they were, you know, changing the show. Like to have him from another country was like bonkers.
And the guy fucking delivers too, man. I'm so ready.
God damn.
I'm so ready. And actually, I even started this afternoon when I watched NXT, and I avoided spoilers last night because I did not watch any wrestling on time this week at all. And which I usually do.
New Japan is the only thing I watched
and
on point.
When the X came up, it
that didn't make
confused me
sense
for a
to me.
second.
Yeah.
I thought, is that ZLE? I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then when Walter came out, I was like, oh, fuck, yes, here we go. So we're actually getting, because they teased it last week.
With they teased it last
year
Ciampa goes with Finn Balor and Walter before all hell broke loose.
Right.
That would have been this match. I think they're throwing us a bone this time around with 2 days of takeover. Go ahead.
But Ciampa did say, he goes, I want to know who's leading the charge. He's like, I want to know who the brains is behind all this. And then Walter shows up. Ciampa makes a good run at him. Doesn't get him. Gets chopped a couple times. Takes a big old power bomb. And now we're looking at, all things considered, we're looking at a Ciampa-Walter match at TakeOver. Now, Jason and I were smoking a cigarette in the garage before the show, and I said that I was going to save this for the pod.
Ooh.
It's not going to feel like a takeover if there's commercial breaks during Ciampa Walter. Like, a real takeover would be Ciampa and Walter doing a full 25, 30 minutes, no commercial breaks. Because commercial breaks, this might not make sense to people that don't watch wrestling all the time, but commercial breaks, they really suck you out of a match. Like, if you really want to get into a match, you're going to watch that motherfucker from front to back. You're going to put your phone down, you're going to watch it, and then by the end, the last 5 minutes are ultimately going to pay you off, right? That's what you want in a great match.
Maybe it'll be on the Peacock one.
That's a good point.
Too nice.
That's a good point.
That's what I was going to say. I guess, obviously, it's all there. We've got it in play. I guess there's my question. Where is this match going to happen? If this is on a 2-night of TakeOver, which this has every right to be, time shouldn't be an issue. You got everything you need.
Is it on Peacock or is it on?
That's what I'm saying.
There's one night of USA, and then there's one night of Peacock. There's Wednesday night normal USA, and then Thursday there's a WWE Network Peacock show. So it's 2 nights of TakeOver, just like there's 2 nights of WrestleMania, but one night is on regular TV.
And the other night's on Peacock. Wow.
That match, though, sounds like I want to see that match more than I want to see any WrestleMania match.
Okay, slow down, man. We ain't going to bury WWE just yet.
That's 100% true. That's 100%.
No. I'm not saying I'm disagreeing with that. I'm just saying that this is a scenario where let's keep things in the micro for 30 seconds. Walter versus Ciampa is a fairly big deal. It's not. I would rather see that in a scenario where. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit of a snob on this one. I want to see this where wrestling fans would kind of see it and appreciate this. I don't think this is necessarily a match that you get casual fans in. Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross are those matches that I think you want to get the casual fan in. If I had to guess, that match being Walter versus Ciampa might end a TakeOver night 1. But they shouldn't have 2 nights of TakeOver. Now this is kind of the reason why you shouldn't have to do this. You got a great amount of angles going. Take those 4 or 5 that are really good, make that in the TakeOver. 1 night, be done with it.
All right, let's keep it moving. Finn Balor, Karrion Kross, they are Kings of NXT, defended their tag team belts against Finn Balor and Karrion Kross, which seemed kind of like a SmackDown Teddy Long setup. It ended up being okay. Finn Balor ends up running into Penelope. What's her name?
Scarlett?
What's her name? Tell me her name.
Scarlett.
Who's Penelope?
Ford. Kip Sabian's wife.
Kip Sabian.
Oh, yes. I can't believe I got those two mixed up.
Coming from the guy who can't tell the Young Bucks apart.
Motherfucker, you beat me.
Really? You guys are going to make fun of me for getting those two people mixed up?
Oh, man.
They're both smoking hot blonde chicks.
I was about to say, have you met this podcast? Number 1 and number 2.
Finn
yes.
Balor. Okay, you guys have taken the wind out of myself. Finn Balor runs into the bitch.
Hey,
Finn Balor and Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross gets really mad. He blows everybody up. What I took the most out of this episode is that Karrion Kross can cut a pretty good promo when he wants to. At the beginning, like him versus Finn Balor, I think he's a better promo than Balor. Am I wrong, Jason?
Not at all. I think that Karrion Kross is one of those guys that didn't necessarily get their chance, and now here is their chance. Impact was when I first saw Killer Kross, if I'm not mistaken. That's where he was in Impact, and he was on my radar from that point on. I'll just say this. And for this feud, you don't have to go down the recycled, angled road. You have the former champion that lost the title because of injury. You have the current champion that's running through the division that's waiting for the former champion. That's it. That's the fucking angle. Anything more than that is probably going to make this more convoluted than what it is. And then once Scarlett talked about, both guys are, draped in gold, I'm like, okay, what the fuck is this? Is this, this is Undisputed Era, 3.0? You didn't have to do that to get to that end result for that match, okay? It's a simple build. Former champion that never lost versus the current champion that's running the table. Roll it out, make it happen.
2 beers, Zach.
Can't argue with that. I mean, why do you think we're so excited about Walter and Ciampa? It's just two badass dudes who are going to fight and see who's the most badass dude. Sometimes that's all the story I need.
Totally agree. I'm very much looking forward to Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross because I think that they will be able to deliver again. Man,
it's going to be game on.
I hate to do this, but if we were going to take NXT right now and decide to do 5 matches, like a regular NXT takeover, you would have Finn Balor, Karrion Kross,
check.
Ciampa Walter,
check.
Devlin Santos,
check.
Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah.
So that means there's no tag team.
Yeah, there is.
Who? Well, that means there's no women's match.
Look.
Io and
then Raquel are going to have to get on this card.
I know.
So there's your 6th match. There's your 6th match.
That's the 6th match.
The tag team
and
division.
then there's women's tag team. They'll probably have a match.
Stop.
You got to cut them off, though.
No,
you got to make cuts.
Okay. Then,
Zach, you've been married. You got to make cuts on the. You got to make cuts on
You're
the
talking
invitations.
about a 5. I'm sorry. I thought you meant.
Let's just go.
No,
let's
I'm just
go.
talking about 5 matches. 5 matches on a tag.
I got you.
So we're going.
I was thinking of the 2 days.
So we're doing 5 total matches. We're not going to do a 6.
5 total matches. Yes.
Then obviously we're going to go. Men's and women's title matches have to be on this card.
Okay.
Ciampa
Walter
is your 3rd. Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly was the 4th. From there,
so you have to leave off Escobar, Devlin, or the tag team match, which I don't even know what it would be. MSK,
there you go.
MSK
versus Grizzled Young Veterans is probably that match, and that's kind of a scary indictment on the tag team champions. But if I have to go one or the I like the tag team, but in this scenario, I would have to separate them and make this a 5-card ultimate takeover. What I like to see, MSK and Grizzled Young Veterans have to be out for me.
Zach, what you think about Loomis versus Austin Theory? Did you watch it?
Thankfully, it was cut from my Hulu, so I didn't have to watch it.
Pretty good. I thought it was pretty good.
No, it was good. It was good up until
what a motherfucker.
It was good up until you had Austin Theory getting helped up by Dexter Loomis, and this is where once again, I personally have a problem with it. We're not making connections with Dexter Loomis. And I would take this back to the Velveteen Dream days where Dexter Loomis wasn't a defined character when he helped out Velveteen Dream. And now you start to move this fast forward to where now Dexter Loomis in kayfabe style has Austin Theory, tied up or whatever. He kidnaps him and all this other nonsense, and then he helps him up from the mat. This is where that's main roster type shit. I don't want to see main roster type booking, especially in the main event, because that was SmackDown all the way. You don't need that booking for Cross versus Finn Balor. That match should set itself up, and then you can start to work that way moving forward. This is something totally different for that scenario where it's not, you don't need to do that route. This has its own simple path. Stay on that simple path.
I don't know who Dexter Loomis is. He's been around for like a year. I still don't know who he is. I have no idea.
He draws well. He draws very well. And all bullshit aside, he has a good moveset. He's an athletic for a big man, but then from that point, this is where the disconnect is. If you didn't do you didn't do a good enough job connecting the dots with him, Velveteen Dream. When was the last time we seen Velveteen Dream, for that matter? There's the next question. And then moving forward, okay, I'm pretty sure we're going to get Dexter Lumis versus Johnny Gargano. Just make that shit happen versus, having him jump through the silly little hoops from point A to point B to get us, which is probably going to be another takeover match, whether it's...
I was going to say, there's your fifth takeover match, Lumis and Gargano. Johnny Takeover.
Dude, this might be the one time that I can think of in a long, long time where a Johnny Gargano match is not must-see TV on NXT TakeOver.
Yeah, that tells you something.
It tells you a lot to me, in the sense where this is where you don't need to have a 2-day takeover. 2-day WrestleMania, fine, I get that. Ton of guys to get over, ton of guys that needs to get their WWE WrestleMania bonus. I get that shit. TakeOver to me is a little sacred. You have to keep it a little special. Unless you got 2 days of loaded fucking cards. And I'm talking about fucking Shane and Braun Strowman type shit. I'm talking about legitimate NXT TakeOver caliber matches.
Don't be jumping on my count. I got the main event, or I got the main card WWE stuff coming up. Don't talk about Shane and Braun. I got a lot of thoughts.
I guess that's it, boys and girls. Boss man's back.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm just saying.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah. I'll just say this. I like the fact that we're building the takeover. I don't think that 2 days of takeover is a huge mistake, and we're going to start to see that moving forward.
I was upstairs for a minute talking to my wife. All I know is that TakeOver has always been kept so high quality because there were only 5 matches. And everything was put in those 5 matches. Everything. There could have been a decent match 1 or a decent match 3, but they always came through at the end because there were always at least 2 4-star matches. And we've talked about this, obviously, through our TakeOver do-overs. I think having 2 nights is weird. I think having a takeover with commercials just doesn't do it for me. It's almost like the thrill is gone.
Go ahead, Two Beer. I'll let you do this first. I have my own thoughts, but
yeah, I totally get it. I mean, especially because this is going to be just a little bit of like an entire week long plus of WWE. It's like WrestleMania Day. It's not just WrestleMania being on 2 days. Or TakeOver being on 2 days. It's like all of the product. I mean, it's hard enough to get through a 3-hour Raw, let alone whenever you have a 3-hour Raw plus every single day of the week. I got shit to do. It's just a lot.
Well, I mean, is there anything else we want to say about NXT?
I'll just say this. The 2-day takeover, I get it. It doesn't make sense in the scenario where you can have 3 hours, 5 matches, maybe a 6th of just baller-ass matches.
Well, it makes sense for ratings. It makes sense for their bottom line, which
and
is all they're doing.
That's where I was getting ready to go to it. If NXT is moving to Tuesdays, then this is the ball that's going to get us rolling into Tuesdays, where they're going to go against, I guess, Impact or whatever you watch on Tuesdays, if anything at all. That makes sense. A lot. That's where I think a lot of this decision making is ultimately going to go on Tuesdays, where on April 18th, they start dominating Tuesday nights.
All right, let's get to that 3 count.
1, 2, 3.
That was a great question for a dinosaur.
Didn't mean to do that. But,
dude, I'm sitting right here. You can ask me anything you like.
We'll let it ride. Okay, So the 3 count is going to be WWE main roster. I watched some of SmackDown the next day. SmackDown, not very bad right now when you're talking about a main event picture that has Edge, Daniel Bryan, and a heel Roman Reigns. And I specify heel Roman Reigns. But when you're talking about those 3 guys, that is not a bad main event picture. When you think about the WWE main roster main event scenarios that we've seen in the past, this is actually pretty good. They're spending a lot of time on Daniel Bryan and Edge. Daniel Bryan and Edge do not have a match coming up. Jason, with 2 nights of WrestleMania coming up, is there a possibility that we see Edge versus Daniel Bryan on night 1 and the winner takes on Roman Reigns night 2? Or is there a possibility that we see a triple threat? Oh, I forgot to say it. A Bill Vegas special.
Right,
triple
triple threat. With the card that sets up the way it is, you would... And this goes to Fastlane, I guess, where you have, obviously, DB versus Roman for the title. There will be a special guest enforcer, and that will be determined on SmackDown tomorrow night. I guess that's where it starts. If Edge is the special enforcer going into Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns, I guess it's all bets are off because he can fuck either guy on the way to...
Certainly seems like there's going to be some chicanery.
Yeah, fuckery is on the menu. So I guess there's the question.
At the same time, Edge versus Jey Uso sounds like a bunch of fun.
Yeah, and that... I guess here's my only problem with Fastlane in general. It's not like there are a lot of matches that will affect WrestleMania. We're building bridges to WrestleMania, and God bless you for it. But at the end of the day, Fastlane to me is probably this match and this match alone. And obviously, we're going to do some predictions here in a little bit. I don't understand why we have. I get New Japan where you have a bridge to make sure you get to Wrestle Kingdom. You have to defend the briefcase, or you have to defend your G1 win versus the next guy, and then you have your chance to get after the championship. For me, this is.
That's what Elimination Chamber is.
Okay, but then you don't need Fastlane.
Well, it's dumb. Yes, it's
this
dumb.
To me is a lot of storyline progression that doesn't need to be its own pay-per-view. Okay?
Of course.
A lot of these things could be done, especially Braun versus Shane, which I'm not sure if it's going to be on this card anymore or not. Yeah, that just... Okay, go ahead.
I mean,
take it.
It's
I'm done.
dumber than fuck. Go ahead and Zach, what match would you rather see? Would you rather see Edge versus Reigns for the championship, or Edge versus Bryan versus Reigns for the championship?
That's tough because you throw Daniel Bryan in the mix, and it's like, oh, would you would you rather have this, or would you rather have like one of the best workers in the world, like thrown in there? It's
yeah.
like,
Now we're having a work rate guy in the match.
Yeah, exactly, and
which is what happened. Sorry to cut you off. Which is what happened in my favorite triple threat match of all time: Lesnar, Rollins, Cena. Rollins was young, dumb, and full of cum, and the other guys were, Cena and Lesnar.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you throw that guy in the middle of that, and all of a sudden magic happens. And I think the same thing could happen, even though Daniel Bryan's certainly not a spring chicken. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I like it. I don't know that it's as marquee. I feel like the big kind of singles match is what is like selling the poster. Because what else do you have is, as far as like, big main event, on the other side, you got McIntyre and Bobby Lashley. But that's not, there's no Goldberg, there's no Lesnar, there's no Ronda Rousey for the first time in like many years. So
yeah,
we got Edge.
What's the last WrestleMania with no Lesnar?
I don't know.
2010.
Hasn't been since I've been watching it.
I was going to say it's not obviously not been that long, but
I think it was. It was Rock Cena 2. So whenever that was, because the next night after that, Cena came out and Lesnar put him down.
Yeah.
Lesnar has not missed a WrestleMania since that. So when was that? I think that was like 2012.
What? No, that sounds way too late.
I'll look it up.
I'll just say this. I like the fact that we're kind of promoting, and I wouldn't say promoting, but TakeOver is what it is, and to me it should be special. Okay, there's no reason for doing 2 nights of TakeOver unless we're doing one night moving forward on Tuesdays. Okay, that to me is the bigger issue of where I guess that's where we're trying to do 2 days of NXT. We're trying to marry angles going in. I get 2 days of the main roster. WrestleMania should be 2 days, especially when you're trying to get guys their WrestleMania bonus and all that other good shit. God bless you for it. TakeOver should be one fucking day, and I think we got those 5 or 6 matches that we can go with TakeOver moving forward. I don't want to see TakeOver getting watered down because we're trying to be cute moving forward, where we're trying to have all these, I guess, angles married, and you can move to that Tuesday and start moving forward from that point. I like NXT, but there's not that many fucking angles where we can get to that point.
I would also like to point out that SmackDown has the Apollo Crews Big E rivalry going on right now, the feud going on right now, which is very, very good. Apollo Crews came out and put the beat down on Big E. Big E came out with a more serious demeanor this week, which I've always wanted from him. I have, man. He's too goofy. He's too goofy, man.
I'm not saying that. I just think that when it's time for them to get serious, they get serious. 9 times out of 10, there's no reason to.
What do you mean, they?
They being the New Day.
What do you mean, them people?
I can say that.
My bad. What did I say the last WrestleMania we had without Brock Lesnar was?
2012 is what you said.
I think it says 12. Oh, Jesus. He must be right.
I love being right. 2003, he fought Kurt Angle. 2004, he fought Goldberg. Didn't come back till
You sound like Cameron Grimes right there. He was so happy.
Kiss my grits.
2013, he lost to Triple H. 2014, he beat The Undertaker. 2015, he lost to Seth Rollins in the Money in the Bank. 2016, he beat Dean Ambrose. 2017, he beat Goldberg. 2018, he beat Roman Reigns. 2019, he lost to Seth Rollins. In 2020, he lost to Drew McIntyre. So, not saying
21 getting. Could he lose to Bobby Lashley?
I don't think he's going to be. I don't think he's going to be there.
Yeah.
I think they would already start building it up.
No, I would love to see Drew versus, I'm sorry, Lashley versus Brock. And obviously that's not going to happen. It's going to be Lashley versus Drew. And we can start moving towards the predictions. I just don't get WWE sometimes.
A couple other things I want to bring up before we get to predictions. I know that Zach didn't watch this, but I didn't watch it either. So Shane,
dude,
McMahon, and Braun, the green slime thing. You know, I put this on Facebook. I put this on Friends of BFR. Is that Tender Mahal, co-host of the show, friend of the show. He's the Pete Best of the show. One time said, sitting in this basement, that
right there,
that WWE often, if you look at them, they use very bright colors, and it's really goofy, and it's a wrestling show for children. And I have not stopped thinking about that since he said it. And when I woke up the next day and saw the gif of Shane pouring green slime over Braun Strowman, that was almost enough for me to cash my chips in. Like, and just be like, and listen, Sheamus is having a hell of a run the last few Raws. Sheamus has been having really great matches. Better matches than we've ever seen Sheamus have. Honestly.
It's been a hot minute.
I mean, he's been outstanding, though, for the last month. He's been rattling off 17, 18-minute hard-hitting matches with Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, and the likes. But it is hard for us here, and I'll speak for all three of us, I think I can. It's hard for us here on Banned from Ringside Podcast to be able to talk about shit like this. So if you tune in and you want us to talk about main roster WWE, I'm not going to sit here and seriously dissect this fucking bullshit that's Alexa Bliss making guys... What did Zach say about making guys puke? It was so fucking funny. Zach, what did you say about Alexa Bliss making guys puke?
It was apropos of what you said about bright colors and they market to children, and I just said that I know when I was a kid that I wanted the premium sex kitten in the promotion to dress up like somebody my age and make somebody my dad's age throw up.
Yes. We're not going to sit here and talk about that. Sorry. Like, we're just not going to. We're not going to sit here and dissect why Shane poured green slime over Braun Strowman, especially when there's New Japan to talk about, and AEW to talk about, and NXT to talk about, and even SmackDown. That shit on Raw is disgusting.
Hard to watch.
It's disgusting. And I'm glad I don't watch it.
Dude, I'm at Tinder's house on Monday night, and I think it's the top of the 8 o'clock hour, 9 Central or 9 Eastern. Okay. To me, this is lose if you're Braun Strowman. Even if you have this match at WrestleMania or whatever the fucking Fastlane is on Sunday, Braun Strowman's supposed to win. Even if God forbid if he lost. That's ridiculous.
I mean, in kayfabe, Michael Cole beat Jerry Lawler at WrestleMania.
Dude, stop.
Anything could happen here. But
I'm not disagreeing with that.
That happened.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, Michael,
God.
it was built up for months and months and months that Michael Cole was just being a shithead to Jerry Lawler.
That was right around the...
And then he came out wearing those wrestling things that looked like headphones.
He was a Vision Quest or whatever.
Yeah, and he beat him. And then he was
Jerry Lawler is like a legitimate Hall of Famer.
Of
like
course.
a legitimate Hall of Famer.
And Michael Cole goes over Jerry Lawler. So that's... never mind. That's a whole nother story.
Also, kayfabe is dead because why would Shane McMahon want to pick a fight with Braun Strowman? Like, what's the fucking point?
Fuck that. As long as we're going down that road, Shane McMahon, the last time I checked, was fired. He lost the Kevin Owens match.
You've been on this for a while.
Look,
nobody else remembers this except for you.
If you're gonna do this,
I don't remember that at all.
I know it was during the podcast.
Okay, if you're gonna go down this road, that's fine. Bring Shane McMahon back. All I ask is the explanation why you bring him back. You did it for Raw Underground, and all of a sudden Shane McMahon is back, and everybody's like, yay. Oh, AEW doesn't do fucking things that's consistent, but then here's WWE bringing Shane McMahon back after you told me that he was going to get fired by losing this match to Kevin Owens, and he lost this match to Kevin Owens. He left TV. Fucking fantastic. And then the next thing you know, in this pandemic era, which I get that. You got to put programming on the pandemic era. You got to make sure you connect the fucking dots. If you're not connecting the dots, it doesn't make sense. And there's guys that are running around here talking about you don't make this make sense. Make this shit make sense. All I'm asking.
Welcome to Visionary.
How many buttons are you pushing?
I was seeing how long you could do it.
Oh, I can do it all.
Impressive.
Good. I can hold my breath for a long, long time, especially with a mask on. I got to talk.
That was really funny. But yeah, I mean, the other thing that I want to say about Raw is that Bad Bunny just handed his 24/7 title back over to R-Truth. Now listen, I don't give a fuck about the 24/7 title.
Nope.
Obviously.
Nope.
I mean, I'm on here. I'm a hardcore wrestling critic. Okay, you know,
Clearly.
when Zach made fun of himself earlier because I was talking about Jay White making fun of Tanahashi for being fat, and Zach said I don't have any room to talk. You have plenty of room to talk, Zach, because you're a critic. We're critics. Okay, we're not wrestlers. We're not talent. We're critics.
We're 4 away from 200.
So we're allowed to say anything that we want.
True. As long as I put the explicit tag on it.
I don't give a fuck about the 24/7 title. What I do think is a bad idea is bringing in a celebrity that won't do a job. Because if you have a celebrity that just hands over the 24/7 title and says to R-Truth, you deserve it more than me, to me that says that celebrity is afraid of taking a pin. And that is not the type of celebrity you want in WWE or in wrestling, period. You have to have a guy who has a good enough sense of humor about himself that he can fucking take a pin.
See Shaq going through the table?
My dude Shaq going through the table? You mean, yes, of course see Shaq going through the table. Shaq, of course he has a good enough sense of humor about himself. He doesn't have to go over. Bad Bunny not taking that pin bothers me.
I thought maybe it was just bad storytelling and not necessarily him not wanting to do a job, but just them not having a story. And they're just like, just have him hand it back.
There are. If they have as many writers as they say that they do back there, there's certainly a way to come up to have R-Truth trick Bad Bunny into taking a pin. Unless Bad Bunny...
A little silly roll-up pin backstage.
Now listen, Bad Bunny's mad famous. I didn't know
Obviously.
this. I didn't know this.
Yeah, he just won a Grammy, just in case you didn't know that.
Well, that doesn't mean shit, but he was also on Saturday Night Live. He also sells a bunch of records. I'm just saying, I watch the Grammys. They're garbage. I'm 41. It's garbage.
Okay, you take that, SNL... 24/7 title, he's worldwide.
I wouldn't be surprised if he had handlers that said, no way, dude, you are not taking this pin. Or if Columbia Records or whoever the fuck has money behind them says, you're not taking this pin. Do you think that's that out of the realm of possibility?
It's... Yeah, I think it's a very...
Let me ask you this.
It's the Grammys, man. Okay? Nobody's tripping off... Nobody's that is really deep in the Grammys worried about WWE.
I'm not talking about the Grammys. I might be going off on a really wide tangent here.
Uh-oh.
But are there people that are famous enough that they can't take themselves... that they take themselves so seriously that they can't have themselves be pinned in a pro wrestling situation because they think it makes them look bad?
I think you're taking this 3 steps too far. Bad Bunny is in no position to take a bump, a roll-up, or anything along those lines of...
I totally disagree. Couldn't disagree more.
What?
Totally disagree. He's doing top rope stuff, right? Isn't he? He's doing moves.
You saw that, right?
Yeah, he's doing moves.
You saw that, right? You're going to allow Bad Bunny to do
He can't
5 minutes?
He can't take a roll up.
You're going to let Bad Bunny do 5 minutes in a WWE ring?
No, in the 24/7 title, he could just be backstage, and R-Truth could just come and roll him up.
Okay.
He won't do the job. I guarantee you that's why it didn't happen. I guarantee you that's why it didn't happen.
I guarantee you the problem is that they want the casual fan to love Bad Bunny and get on board with this.
So then put heat on the heel. That's fucking wrestling.
If Bad Bunny gets hurt in a WWE backstage,
Gets hurt by getting rolled up by R-Truth?
Look.
I'm about to roll you up right now.
I'm saying I'll take that shit up. 1, 2, 3, Zach. Okay, it'll be real simple. I know how this works. Scrunch in.
Watch this, Zach. Do you have any thoughts on this?
I think Jason's too old to do a bump.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, Zach. I'm too old to do a bump unless you got a bump. otherwise, no, I'm just kidding.
No, then we can move on.
Holden McNeil.
I think I told my boss about the podcast this week. I should have done. Yeah, no. I'm sober.
This was going down south.
The last thing I'll say is that Riddle and Ali should let those guys rip. They gave them 9 minutes. Most of it was commercial. But if you gave Riddle and Ali time,
15, 20.
Fuck. If you put
Sounds
those
amazing.
guys, if you put those guys in the New Japan Cup, we're talking.
Okay, but this is WWE, and I don't even know what's up with Riddle. Who's next where the fuck is Keith Lee? That's the
you
question.
Just said who's next. You just said who's next.
Yeah, never mind. I'm done.
Oh, Goldberg, Riddle.
This is banned from ringside.
All right. Jason's gone, so Zach, we can talk like men now. All right, so we have Fastlane coming up this Sunday. Zach, what is the percentage chance that you will watch Fastlane while it's happening?
I'll watch the last 2 hours of it or so live. I work on Sundays, so I don't get out of there till 8 o'clock at night, but I'll watch whenever I get home.
But you won't put it on at the bar, or you can't because it's a pay-per-view?
Oh, no, I can put it on at the bar, but I'll be cleaning and stuff, so I won't actually be able to watch it.
Well, luckily for you, there's not much to see. Let's start off with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Is that right? I think that's right.
Yeah, that's building to WrestleMania. I mean, I think the whole reason this is even happening is just for Sasha and Bianca to have something to fight about, even though they already have a storyline like Jason was talking about earlier. She's the Royal Rumble winner, so, I mean, she gets the match.
She gets a match. That should be the story. Should be story enough. So you are taking Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler?
Yeah, I don't see these guys winning the belts. They're going to lose, and that's going to cause the vehicle to WrestleMania.
Jason, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Zach and I both took Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair.
That's a joke, right?
Yeah, that's a joke.
Okay. I was going to say, there is no way on God Green Earth you guys are taking that shit. This is Nia and Shayna Baszler. It feels like this is almost Shock City all over again, because I feel like we've done this before in a Shock City episode where you've had champions moving on a singles level facing the tag team titles and not even winning that. This doesn't even make sense. Okay, bring me Reggie. Make this fun, make this a little bit entertaining, but there's no way in the world Sasha and Bianca win this. I'll take Nia and Shayna to win or retain the titles.
Okay, coming up next, we have Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan. There's going to be a special enforcer. It could be Jey Uso. It could be Edge. I want you guys to not think about that. I want you guys to think about who is coming out of this match as champion. Jason, I'll let you go first.
It's got to be Roman Reigns. I mean, I like Daniel Bryan. Everybody likes Daniel Bryan. Dare I say I love him. Unless this is some serious fuckery going on where you have the Bill Vegas special on a triple threat. The story is Edge versus Roman Reigns. I can't see this going any other way. If it goes towards Daniel Bryan, dare I say, winning, that to me is overbooking. It's simple. We have the match. Make the match happen. I'm taking Roman to retain.
Zach, who you got?
Yeah, Roman Reigns.
Me too. That's enough. We have McIntyre versus Sheamus. I'll go first. Well, I don't. It feels like they're.
You're being too cute.
It feels like both main event matches for SmackDown and Raw for the men's championships are both teasing triple threats. I don't think it's going to be a triple threat.
No.
I'm taking Sheamus. I don't know why I did that. That's so dumb.
No, I'll take it this far. It's not that dumb.
Oh, well, now I know it's really dumb.
Drew versus Lashley is made irrelevant of what happens here. Okay? Sheamus can win this match, and you still have Drew versus Lashley for the title.
Who are you taking?
I'm taking Drew.
Who are you taking, Zach?
I'll take Drew.
Fair enough. And then we have Big E Langston, or as he's currently known, Big E.
Big E.
Versus
My dog.
Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental Championship, which I have to say is one of the more interesting intercontinental feuds they've had in a long time.
I'll start. If Cedric Alexander didn't turn heel first, I'd have been way more excited about Apollo Crews turning heel. Not saying that the Apollo Crews heel is a bad heel turn. I just think Cedric got that momentum first. I kind of wish that Apollo would have had his...
Who's better?
Hard to say right now. Cedric is a part of a tag team. Apollo solo dolo.
Who's better overall? Just raw talent.
Now you really fucking with
I
me.
want an answer because they're both crazy, but I have an answer that I want.
I'm going Cedric Alexander just because I've seen him. On that scenario,
You're going Cedric Alexander just because you knew I was going to say Apollo Crews.
no, I've seen more Cedric Alexander singles matches than I've seen more Apollo Crews single matches. Even when he was Yuha Nation, I didn't even know who this guy was until he became a part of the NXT roster. Now that said, I wish that Apollo would have had the accent the week before. Nonetheless, I'm taking Big E to retain. It's just way too close before WrestleMania for him to lose the title.
Zach, what do you think?
Yeah, on paper, I mean, this sounds like an awesome match, but I think Big E's going to keep that title. They got the other members of the New Day, they're, just took tag team titles, so I think that's kind of the play going into WrestleMania for these guys to have New Day, which is a hot act, even though like the 11th time they're the champions now.
No,
but,
it's 45,000 that's going to be in Raymond James Stadium. You want people to chant New Day.
Yeah,
I think that you want Big. Man, you guys are trying to talk me out of it. I'm going to go with my original thought. I'm going to go with Apollo Crews.
Look at you. Good boy.
Good boy. That's so fucking offensive.
It is kind of great that I'm saying it.
I thought, well, this is kind of what I think about Lashley is that they put the belt on Lashley because they wanted McIntyre to be chasing it into WrestleMania and get his big WrestleMania moment.
Agreed.
I don't think it's that different than Apollo Crews and Big E. Like having Big E, New Day winning the tag team belt on Monday.
Not a surprise.
It surprised the fuck out of me.
Really?
I still don't get it. I still don't get the point of it.
Wow. Okay.
But I'll take Apollo Crews just because that was my initial thought. And I don't want to
No,
I don't want to do.
It's like a multiple choice question. First instinct is correct instinct.
So, for the main event of the night, the biggest match of the night, we have Alexa Bliss
I totally forgot about this match.
versus Randy Orton in a first one to vomit pea soup match. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen here.
I know what's going to happen.
I bet there's no finish. I'm going to put a big X through mine because I'm protesting it.
Damn.
And we stopped keeping score a long time ago.
Right. We gotta figure out what we're gonna do from that point on. Where
we can.
We're post COVID.
We need to start.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
But
Putting us on.
I'll take another chop from Stallion. It doesn't hurt that bad. It's fine.
Bullshit.
Like I can do it.
I was here for that
He's
episode.
a pussy.
I was gonna say it happened kind of right
Fuck
here.
you, Stallion.
Kind of happened right here. That Joker looked like it hurt.
You can't hurt me, bitch.
The first and the second time, that Joker looked like it hurt. Obviously, this is the time where the Fiend comes back. So if we're going to go with that line of thought, I'm going to take Alexa Bliss to win in this scenario where the Fiend comes back, lays Randy Orton out. The Alexa Bliss gets this pinfall 1, 2, 3, and now you set up the inevitable WrestleMania match that we've seen. I guess that was 2-3 years ago with the cockroaches or whatever. No, we did the podcast. It was the first podcasts I missed, and it was a WrestleMania year. It happened the same year the Cardinals.
I'll tell you what.
It was the House of Horrors or whatever.
Yes.
One of my favorite Friends of BFR posts of all time, maybe my favorite, is waking up the other day and having Zach just post on Friends of BFR on Facebook, "What the fuck is this?" with a picture of Randy Orton versus Alexa Bliss. Because it really is like, what the fuck
is this?
Fuck this. That being said, Zach, who you got? You can protest if you want.
I have the Fiend. I'll pick him. I think it's going to be Husky Harris Halloween, and
motherfuckers all over the place.
I'm going to be now cosplaying Triple H. And so, like, we're going to have actually Randy Orton versus Triple H, but Triple H played by Husky Harris. So that's what's
played by Alexa Bliss. It's going to be 35 minutes. It's going to be 35 minutes of rest holds and middle fingers.
Yeah, whatever.
Shawn Michaels is your special guest referee.
Over under on the Alexa Bliss Randy Orton match. I got 10 minutes. Over under.
From bell to bell?
From bell to no. From bell to bell. From bell to bell. You can take all the
10 minutes?
10 minutes.
And what you take?
10 minutes
over
is
under.
What do you have? Over under 10 minutes.
Under.
It better be.
I don't even think there's going to be a bell.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a bell either.
There's going to be.
I think it's going to be cinematic.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to step in the ring. I think it's going to be dumber than shit.
Obviously.
I think that Randy Orton's going to look back on this part of his career and be embarrassed that he was part of this. No, I really do. Like,
he's like, son of a bitch, I should have signed with AEW.
This, they wouldn't take him. This is that bad. This is as bad of an angle as I've seen, and really, like, ignoring it has made me feel a lot better about the WWE product. Like, if you focus on NXT and you watch SmackDown every once in a while, and you just barely pay attention to Raw, WWE is tolerable.
Wow.
Dude,
okay.
This kind of stuff like makes me like embarrassed to be a fan. Like, it's one reason, like, I wouldn't put on Fastlane at work because, like, dude, what if this is like the first match? It's the first thing everybody sees.
Yeah,
it's
embarrating when you tell people that you have a wrestling podcast and then you turn on wrestling and it's Alexa Bliss versus Randy Orton. I mean, it looks like you're into all the other shit that Zach's into.
You ain't shit. I'll just say this. I don't like the build going to WrestleMania for these 2 days. I don't.
It looks
even
pretty
for
weak.
Even for Takeover, it's kind of.
I will say AJ and Omos versus New Day could be fun. Sorry to cut you off. Oh, God.
No, you can cut me off at that point. You just made my point. Jesus Christ. Really? Really? Come on, man. WrestleMania is supposed to be fun. Is that match going to be fun? Is that match going to be entertaining?
New Day versus AJ and Omos looks like it could be fun. Dude, that's a lot more.
That sounds like a handicap match. AJ's going to be taking over that motherfucker and almost going to be throwing somebody into like empty seats in fucking Raymond James Stadium.
Yeah, the only reason he's not over is because you can't say his name. Almost. Stop calling him Almost.
Look, I can at least tell who that motherfucker is between you.
He's 7'4".
You can't even tell who the fucking guys are. The Young Bucks, who arguably one of the greatest tag teams of all time are.
I'll be honest. The other day, Dakota Kai was walking with Raquel Gonzalez.
Dude, don't say it.
And I thought it was Almost.
Jesus Christ.
Man from Ringside.
All right, we got some birthdays this week. This is the biggest birthday week. It's always the biggest birthday week is right before WrestleMania. Matt Sydal is 38. AJ Lee is 34. Sting is 103. Oh wait,
no, take that one off.
I read that wrong. He's 100. No, I'm sorry. He's 62. Homicide is 44. Matt Taven, 36.
He's alive.
I know. Like I've missed him. He's really good.
Watch ROH, motherfucker. Roll your eyes at me again. See what happens.
I just have shit to do. Like, I watch a lot of wrestling. B. Priestley is 25. Okay, so here's
B. Priestley's only 25?
Yeah,
wow.
25. Here's all the motherfuckers with the same birthday. March 24th. D'Angelo De Niro. Did he get me tooed or something?
Really?
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah. Who?
D'Angelo De Niro. He's a black guy, obviously. He's
Jesus
not a white guy.
Christ.
He's not a white
Okay, so
guy
now all of a sudden this is my responsibility to figure this shit out.
No, I'm just trying to describe you to him. I just realized that there's never been a white guy named D'Angelo before. It's like, D'Angelo,
Yeah,
he's
that
Asian,
white guy that
little
was down the
Asian
street. God, this is going south.
All right, he's 43.
God bless you, D'Angelo. Happy birthday.
Lana is 36.
2.
Jake Hager / Jack Swagger is 39.
3.
Undertaker
4.
is 56. Christopher Daniels is 50.
5.
Barry Horowitz is 61.
Greatest dropper ever. 6.
Epico is 39.
7.
And Lacey Evans is 31.
8. Pregnant. Congratulations.
Those are eight birthdays.
On the same day?
March 24th. Yep. Everybody on the same day.
Everybody's fucking on 9 months to the day? That's crazy.
Oh, 9 months ago. I mean,
So if you want your kid to be a wrestler, then you missed the boat.
Yeah, you did. Because all the wrestling fans are going to be dead pretty soon.
What am I going to do? Never mind.
Going to be dead pretty soon.
Thanks. Just give me the WrestleMania.
Hey, everybody, for F&B Eatery.
Check.
For Bill's Beard Company.
Check.
For Tinder Mahal.
Check.
For Murray the Merman Murray. For
Check.
Lucha Chris.
Check.
For Katie, the First Lady of BFR. Condolences.
Yes.
For Murph.
Yes.
And for Pants.
Yes.
We love you.
Yes.
For
Big
Two Beard
hugs.
Zach Pullman.
Check.
For Jason Cornelius Bell. I'm
Konnichiwa,
Jill
bitches.
Becky. Support
Check.
your local weed dealers.
Check.
Support your local restaurants.
Check.
And everybody boo the fucking heels.
Boo!